Okay, two baskets contain two types of fruit, apples and pears. The ratio of number of pieces of fruit in basket A to the number of pieces of fruit in basket B is 5 to 3. 25% of the fruit in basket A are apples and 2/9 of the fruit in basket B are apples. And we're told there are 45 pears in basket A. And we're asked to calculate how many pears there are in basket B. Okay, so I'm going to draw a bar for each of the two baskets because I am given a ratio here. So here is A, here is B, and A has, so we're doing A to B, the ratio is 5 to 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So A will have 5 parts. And B will have 3 parts. There we go. So that reflects that first bit of information that we were given. So I've dealt with that. We're also told that 25 of the fruit in basket A are apples. Okay, so I'm going to have to, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts here, and that's obviously an odd number, and I'm going to be dividing by 4 to get my 25%. So I am going to actually divide up these parts, and we will start. In fact, what I'm going to do is quarter each of these. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to quarter all of them. Not terribly well drawn, but I know what I'm doing. I know what it means to me is what I mean by that. And you will when you're drawing it yourself. Okay, so what do I have here now? Well, now I have 20 smaller parts here. And we're told that 25% of the fruit in basket A are apples. So that's going to be 5 of the parts. And I'm guessing I might as well use green. Although I suppose I could have used red, but there we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In fact, I probably should have used red because those pears are green, aren't they? There we go. So there's my apples. Okay, that's the 25%. Okay, so I've dealt with that piece of information now. We're also told that 2/9 of the fruit in basket B are apples. Now, I'm going to have to divide these parts up differently because we're dealing in ninths. So what I'm going to do is divide each of these parts into thirds. So I then end up with 9 parts in the whole model. And we're told 2/9 of the fruit, that is apples, okay, or are apples. Right, there we go. That's the 2/9 that we're told about. Okay, so I've dealt with that piece of information. And what else do we know? We're told that there are 45 pears in basket A. Now that's going to be useful. So this is this bit here, all of the remainder, has a value of 45. So we need to know how many parts there are in this 45. So this is 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15. So if we divide 45 by 15, we get 3. So we now know that each of these parts, here we go, that has a value of 3, 3, 3, and so on and so on. Okay. And what is useful to note here is that 4 3s, well, that's 12. That will give us a value of 12 for one of these original parts. So we're then asked, so I've dealt with that bit of information, yes, and I've calculated what one of the original parts is worth in terms of fruit, how many pieces of fruit one part represents. And we're asked, how many pears are there in basket B? Well, there's only two types of fruit. These are the apples, so this bit has to represent the pears, okay, as this was pears. And how can we calculate this? Well, we know that one of the original parts has a value of 12, represents 12 pieces of fruit. Well, that's the same for this original part here. So this also has a value of 12. And in this case, we've divided each of the original parts into 3. So each of these parts has a value of 4. Okay, so we then need to find out how many parts we have. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we want to multiply 4 by 7. Okay, and that is going to give us 28. So we now know that there are 28 pears in basket B.